Okay. Confessions camera. I confess that this is a squeaky toy. Made for dogs, not horses. But I use it for horses. No, that's not what I was talking about. Going to talk about anyway. No, I just thought I'd jump on and talk about why the hell I set up a reverse round yard and what the hell it's for and whatever the case might be. Why? Psh. No, we're done, okay. I don't have any more treats for you. I do, don't tell him that. He knows already. Don't. Shh. I thought we were done. I thought we were done. You didn't want any part of me. Don't. I know, you just want treats. I'm not willing to give you treats, yeah? Not right now, I'm busy. Thanks. Good job. You love it, don't you? It's like a giant carrot. And itchy. Help! Ow! Woo! Ouch! Payback's a bitch, he says. I thought I'd jump on here and let you know why I set up a reverse round yard. And like let you guys into my mind, my thinking and my inner world a little bit. I'm not going to let you in there completely because obviously that's a huge risk and my ego says no, that's not allowed because that's scary and too much. So I'm doing it incrementally. So eventually, maybe in a year or two time, I'm sharing everything I'm thinking and doing on the inner world and outer world, and you're in my mind and we can navigate this world together. That will never not be funny. He's leaving me alone. So I'm probably gonna have to edit this a few times because of the ums and ahs. So I will insert some videos on what I mean as I talk so that you can have a visual, because I'm very much, I learn through teaching and visuals and hands-on. So the reverse round yard for me, I have had horses since I was 6. I've never once set up a round yard like this with poles on top of drums, ever. I'm not going to go into that here as to why, because it was a completely different mentality I was in and completely different understanding, and just who I was and how I trained horses was completely opposite to what I am now. So I'm thankful for the growth. The reason why I chose to do it now is because I've got 2 horses I'm trying to train at Liberty, and this allows me to have a separate line between the 2 of them, so one on one side and one on the inside, and that allows me to have the space between them, and that way it reduces the risk of my horse that's aggressive. So Monty is very aggressive, so it reduces the risk of him actually being able to go the horse that's on the inside, so Penny for this instance. This is just my way of doing things. If this doesn't fit your way of doing things or how you would run things, you can move along, because this page is obviously not for you because we don't align. You don't resonate with what I'm saying. Move on. So this is not necessarily how the round yard, reverse round yard is how people use it, I guess. It's got a mix of how people would use it in it, but basically I let the horses tell me. What that means is that I felt like I was at the stages with their Liberty training that I needed some boundaries, but I didn't want to enforce them with the whip, so I just needed more space. A lady called Nadine, she asked the horse to go around obstacles and rewards them and goes to them to give them the carrot or treat. So that's like that concept, along with how you would use the reverse round yard, and then mix it with my method because it's different again. So as you can probably see from some of the clips, I'll put one here in specific, which is that Moni likes to work with a bit of distance between us because sometimes he gets confused by the whip cues when we're so close, and he gets very pushy in my space, and then I feel the need to correct him, and then it can just become like a conflictual energy where I'm asking him to do something but also trying to get him to get out of my space. So sometimes, and I'll insert another clip here, he will actually run out of the round yard and show me what he's willing to offer me for what I'm asking, and then we find that mutual agreement in between where it's like, well, it's not really what I asked for, but you did offer me something and I'm going to reward that effort anyway. The other reason is it also gives me a space to work. So the first time I used it, I did put the little imaginary gate up, so the last pole that I put down, I put back up to do Moni for the first time in there, because my idea was different to their idea. My idea was it was going to be a round yard. Their idea is it's used for boundaries and the way they want to use it. So horse training is equally you training them as well as them giving you what you need to adjust your training methods. So I'm sure I'll insert another clip here of me in the round yard or Moni coming into the round yard. I haven't reviewed this before I said this now, so this might be a little bit different to what the video clip says or shows, but I'll show you anyway. Moni would run. This is the first time I've ever used something like this as a tool. I've always had an open paddock or had control issues, so I had the halter on all the time back before finding out about this sort of training method and doing the self-development. What I was saying there, Moni will put himself in the round yard depending on what he wants to do and offer. So he knows that I've got like a list of things that I'd like to run through, but it's not usually linear through the, like consecutive through the list. It's usually like he will offer me something up here and then we'll move to something down here. So like you saw, he shows me what he's willing to offer. So I'll insert another one. This one will hopefully be from today, where he is learning to Spanish walk, and he will give it to me amazingly, and I will ask for it when I can see that he's offering it. So then it becomes a combination of cues and want, and that way the horse is more willing to do the job as well. As you can probably see, the next clip will be from today as well, when I tried to get him to rear when he was in the yard, and he was getting confused, and he was like, I can't do this with the poles in the way, and then he, I think, eventually turned away and was kind of like, yeah, okay, I did a little rear and that's all I can manage in this circumstance, and I'm not willing to do anything more because you're confusing me. So then I've gone, all right, fine, that's fine. I totally understand that the pole is in your way and you can position yourself differently, but I'm not going to argue that. I'm just going to let you do what you're going to do and reward the effort that you gave me anyway, despite the challenging circumstances. The other thing is that it allows me to work with Moni and Penny side by side without having to correct the bad behavior as such. It also gives me a space to, work the horse. I think I already said that. I get like rambly and sidetracked sometimes, sorry. And I'll probably add things in as I go with voiceover and like added clips, because I know, that was a correction because he pulled my hair. And he knows what he's doing. He just wanted my attention and I wasn't willing to give it to him. That's why he's got the chew toy. I used to abuse horses, which is absolutely fucking terrible of me, and I'm very ashamed of it. I'm not very proud of it whatsoever. I learned a lot of hard lessons, I was in a lot of dangerous situations, and I was also dealing with a lot of free horses, which come with a plethora of fucking problems because people can't handle them, or they've gotten themselves a too much horse and whatever have you, and then they've had to get rid of it, and then it comes with problems. My family wasn't willing to pay for a horse. They did pay once for Mars, which was $1,000, and that was considered expensive and never gonna do that again. So I had to work with what I was getting, and I don't know how I just got so many free horses throughout my years, constantly. Anyways, so they just have a lot of problems. So I correct the behaviors, but I've got no follow-up. So I don't smack him and then turn around and chase him away. I just smack him and let that sink in and go, hey, like, you know what you're doing there. You pulled my hair. You don't normally pull my hair. That was an extreme behavior to get my attention, and I'm telling you I'm not willing to give you my attention right now, so go off and do your own thing. I will give you attention eventually, but I have boundaries there. So, and he knows that, you know, people make out their horses don't know, and they're so dumb. The horses, much like children and other people, will behave in the box that you put them. If you think they are dumbasses, then they will act that way. Like, and this excludes circumstances like the horse is the exception to the rule, alright? So there are horses that do the things that I'm saying that horses don't do. Like, there are some horses that are clumsy, they have that personality, but also it's probably a bodily issue or dysfunctions there somewhere. So everything is a form of communication, absolutely everything. So I'll run a couple more clips on here of the way that I use it. So like I was saying, I get a individual workspace for just me and that one horse. I also get that space between me and Monty when he wants to offer me more and I just don't really want him in my space. The other is when I am in there and we're doing something and I become too hard and ask too much, and there's too much pressure, and it's like literal energy pressure builds up, and then he'll go, bye, I'm not dealing with this anymore, because it got too confusing and too much. So he'll put himself on the outside, and sometimes it's good because I like liberty because it shows me where the horse is at, what they're thinking, and how they feel about everything I'm asking and doing, and it gives me pure communication without any human interference, basically. You know, like with a halter on, the horse can say no, but you're still going to eventually make them do it anyway. There are circumstances in which that's a non-negotiable, but there are also other circumstances where I need to know why you're saying no and what's going on here, and usually having them at liberty and doing their own thing allows me to see what their interest is. So like Monty, as you'll probably see with the next clip, is he loved the little peanut licket ball that I got specifically from the dog section, and I stumbled upon it and thought, you know what, this would be really good at putting molasses in and on and having him chew it, and he would love that. As you can probably tell in the background with Monty, very happy with his little dog toy that squeaks. And these things I found not because I was looking for them, but because I noticed the behavior in Monty, and that it never went away even if you corrected it and tried to punish him for chewing on you and your shoes and like being pushy. This behavior was well and truly before I introduced treat training and clicker training, and I've been able to shape it better with clicker training and treat training. But he's a very, very intelligent horse. So I kind of thought to myself, a little bit like an autistic child has, you know, autistic people have chew jewelry, so jewelry that you can chew on and get that sensation of stimming from that. And I, for a long time, noticed that's how Monty anyways, I don't allow that. That's horrible. I hate that. That's bad behaviour to me. Just like kids, you're not going to let them loose in the shopping centre and just be like, oh, well, they're kids, they're going to be kids. I mean, there are some people that do that, but kids need structure, responsibility, discipline, all that sort of stuff. And not discipline in form of punishment and all that, but discipline as in for correction, and then showing the correct behaviour. So I will leave them alone, like Penny, when she stops chewing and gets away from it, I will leave her alone because that's the desired behaviour I want, not the behaviour she was presenting. And Moni, I mean, the horses are just like dogs in the way that you just got to redirect their attention. But anyway, so I saw that Moni had a need for a chew toy. He would constantly at clinics chew on my width end, which was rubbery, and I noticed that he was getting he's looking for treats again, he's trying to engage with me. He predominantly explores the world with his mouth. Don't. I don't care you got a soft eye, that's like someone being mean but saying nice things. No. No. I have body boundaries. I'm allowed to be a horse and kick and scream at you to get you away from my body, not to chase you with or punish you for. And it's okay, he can stand there and be quiet with me, but I don't want him to invade my personal boundaries. So I just flap my arms, or I'll shoo with my hand and say, no, I don't want that. He's a very pushy horse as well, so he's very pushy with the other horses as well, and he likes to tell them what to do. It used to be a go for me, and used to work because I was a little bit intimidated by him. He's a little bit like a rig sometimes. Hey, don't. No. Don't. No. He says the camera is getting all the attention and not me. I'm here willing to offer you everything again. You need to learn that we can just chill out. That's what this is all about. No. You touch my things, I touch you. Yeah, you can just hang out. No. Now he's licking and chewing because he gets the picture. I will only take it as far as they take it. I feel like the lemon dude from don't! I feel like the lemon dude from Adventure Time. Unacceptable! No. You're begging. I don't like it when you beg. Don't. This is going to be useless footage again. I guess it's just about getting out and doing it, isn't it? The only way you will get a carrot when I'm like this, in this state, is if you join me in this state. Don't beg like that. Don't. I don't like that. Oh my god, don't hit your horses. I don't hit them where it's not cold raw. Only hit them if they are being very intrusive and not listening to my body boundaries. Ah! You'll get the picture in a minute. It's good for him. I haven't really done this. He's asking me and I'm saying no. Not that you can see it, but my eyes are looking at him from the corner of my eyes so that I'm aware of where he is. My body language is crossed and closed. I'm saying no. And if he proceeds to push my personal body boundaries, my body will become bigger and I will become a little bit more intense to be around until he gets the picture. And I do not like begging. Don't. But he's a horse that will antagonize you until you get the picture. But this is good for you guys to see, and it's also good for him. And again, he's trying to get my eyes on him because he knows when my eyes are on him that he's getting the attention and he gets a reward after that. No. No. Don't. Stop frisking me. This is where treat training can go really, really wrong for people. They think, oh, it's so cute that he's begging for me and playing with my pockets and doing all this. This is actually really rude behavior. If he was a person, he'd be that kid that's pulling on your dress going, mum, 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 mummy, 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 mum, 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 mummy, mummy, mummy. And what, you're just going to be like, hey kid, can you give me a minute? But these horses, don't talk. They go off body language and vibes. So my vibe is almost getting pissed off. Don't. And I'm defending my boundaries and not going any further with it. Don't. Just come on, I'm being a good boy. I'm not biting you. Don't. And I can't do that too many times because he thinks it's a game in the end. He's a very naughty little pony. The only way I will give you a carrot is if you leave me alone and be nice for a few moments. I'm And that's what I mean by if you're fucking rude, I will smack you. You can say whatever you want to say about that situation. He fucking knows. I've had him for like 8 years now. We know each other well enough. I'm trying to reshape the behaviour that I'm getting from him. It's his personality as well. And he will just hang around. And I am rewarding him for when he's just chilling out. Like this. It's not always a bad thing. Of course, I don't want to hit a horse. I don't want to hit them. I'm just going to show him his like toy. Because I don't want him eating my whips either. That's why I got him this toy. Like a child, you're not just going to sit there and ignore them. If they do it enough times, you're going to give them something to do that's doing that instead of doing the annoying thing to you. Did you undo it? Squeaker. Into the squeaker? Pick it up. Pick it up. Pick it up. Pick it up. So yeah, I hope that answers some questions as to why someone would make a reverse round yard, what the uses are, and if it's right for you. So the reasons why I did it, as mentioned in the video, to give us space, to give us a workplace, and to shape behaviours with two. It also, I wouldn't use it as an actual round yard because they will just run through it. It's poles on top of drums, so they already have to be quite respectful to poles and fences before you do that stuff, and also already know what you're asking them to do. So I've done a little bit of training with Penny in the halter, and Monty's got a lot of training in the halter under his belt. Still doesn't negate their personalities, which just means that it still doesn't mean that they won't have the personalities that they have. Excuse me. He thinks it's a game all the time. It is 3:30. No, it's 2:30. Because yeah, I am feeling a little bit down and out actually. A bit drained of energy. I give warnings, bro. See, that's the fine line of, do I reward him, do I engage with him, or do I not? And I'm trying to get the point across. See, my body language will get bigger, and my energy becomes bigger when I'm being annoyed. And that's because he's pushing my boundaries. It's my life story. It's my life lesson. Anyway. yeah, I don't even know if I answered all the questions, but why did I do it? Was because I needed a round yard. I needed a space to work. And it was just a bonus added thing to it that Monty worked out you can just do the thing outside of it and I will still get rewarded. So that's fun. Horses are their own beings, just like humans are our own beings, except horses are limited to the vehicle that they're in, like we're limited to the vehicle that we're in, aka the vessel. Stop! That we're doing. And this is annoying and probably just useless footage. Useless footage all the time. Hopefully we can use something here. I would be screwed if we were trying to do an interview or a podcast in this paddock with you guys, because it's just very much anyways, I'm very new to it, with trick training and liberty and all of that, so I have a lot of control issues and parts of my ego that need healing, which is only able to be seen and healed which only gets brought to light. Fucking hell. Parts of me only gets brought to light through doing the work, through doing stuff, being with the horses, being with people, doing things, experiencing life. Eventually I end up with triggers, and triggers are opportunities for us to heal. Horses are very good at pushing our triggers and forcing us to look inward, although most people get pushed by a horse, as in their trigger, and then take it out on the horse. This is your personal responsibility as a human to recognize your triggers, recognize when you're dysregulated, and take a break. Your horse is not going to learn anything if you're flogging it, and it's not going to learn anything if you're angry, and you are also not going to learn anything, and you are also not going to be open to the little efforts and trying and the little miracles. So when you're dysregulated, take a break, have a coffee, wash some dishes, rearrange the horse's jump paddock. I don't know, I don't care. Just go do something that helps you regulate yourself and come back to it when you're feeling better. If the horse has done something and it's learnt that from you and then you're dysregulated. So for example, people are very hesitant to get off their horses when their horses are being ridden and having a problem. I don't have any issues with it because I know if they're having a problem under saddle, that getting off is only going to help them through it, and then eventually it might happen maybe 3 more times before the horse doesn't need me to get off again, and they sort of know what's going to happen after it. But if you get off in anger and you are trying to force your horse to do the thing, it's just going to make it worse and make them explode, and then eventually maybe you will get them through it, but you've destroyed your relationship with them and you've dysregulated yourself and them, and then you're left both feeling like shit afterwards. There's no point getting angry at horses. They are doing their best all the time. Same with kids. Speaking as a former child, all I wanted was someone to show me what I was doing wrong and show me how I can do it better, or show me the way that it's supposed to be done. But instead I was only told off. And that's sometimes what horses feel like. That's not the whole story, of course. My whole story and lore is a whole 24 hours worth of talking non-stop to get the point across of all the complexities of my life and whatever have you. And yeah, just sharing this because I feel like it, and I want to do more of these little confession camera things because I've seen a couple of people do it and they've had success with it. It's just finding something to talk about that's not too vulnerable for me, because I obviously don't want to get ripped apart on the internet, but I want to be vulnerable enough that the people that need me can find me. No. If you're just coming near me to do that, you can go away. Anger is a defense mechanism, which is usually because you've been hurt. And depending on the situation, anger is supposed to be the warrior that defends your boundaries. If you get angry at something, it's usually a very good indication that you're either hurt or your boundary has been crossed, and it should be used as an indicator, like getting in the car and learning how to drive. You steer the wheel and you have the indicator and brakes. That's what our emotions are to us. So they're continuously and forever always giving us signals of ourselves, who we are and what we're experiencing from the external world. Some people are walking around as if driving their car with all four popped wheels on the rims, no brakes, no brake lights, no indicators, steering's a bit clapped out. Eventually, when people realize they've been driving around like that for so long, aka in their body, doing the things that they're doing, habits, behaviors, etc., eventually we want to learn how to maintain it better, how to fix it, how to fix the previous issues. And of course there is still going to be some damage done from driving around like that, but you can heal and you can fix it, and you can learn about your internal systems from what you reach for and what you say and the words you select to communicate with, and what you're feeling at any given moment. And if you're in an interaction with someone, and how you feel will tell you about them, which will also tell you what you think about them as well. There's good judgment and there's bad judgment. Good judgment is protection, bad judgment is just judgment on someone, is often an indicator of your own trauma that's clouding your filter or your lens or your eyes or your headlights or windscreen, whatever you want to interpret it as. And when you're getting angry at horses, it's often coming from a deep, he's just annoyed at flies, it's often coming from a deep rooted belief or trauma that you hold. So oftentimes what you will experience with horses is, and I still get it to this day sometimes as well, is like an imposter syndrome or a not good enough wound, which a lot of people hold, if not pretty much every single human. I would be inclined to say that's human evolution of how, your first spiritual awakening, your first awakening to a new awareness, and then when you move up the levels you become aware of new things. I forgot the point of that because I got sidetracked a little bit there, but I'd love to share all this spiritual talk with you. But I also know I'm still learning, I'm still practicing, I'm still experiencing, and this is my attempt to help you see me and who I am, and help you to see you better. So I hope with my YouTube and my TikTok that I can extend healing to everyone and show them a way out of being stuck and becoming aggressive and upset and all the heavy emotions that come with it. The reason why I'm bringing all this up is obviously because of that Heath Ryan video that's popped up, and then the Charlotte Dujardin one a few months ago, and then of course more and more are going to come to light because we're slowly seeing the changes that we need to, and setting the example to what we will accept and what we won't accept. So I have no doubt that in the future, over the next maybe 5 months to a year, that eventually most of the top level riders are going to be exposed for something, because it's little people like us that go there, send the horse there, or see something, and that we're finally able to stand up for it and advocate for the horse. We say horse before the sport, but what does that actually mean? It means that you're listening to your body and you're listening to their body and their language, and you are in tune all the time to the conversation that's happening up here with the horse, not necessarily what's happening here. Once you become spiritually aware and awakened, you start to tune in and realize that you are not your thoughts, you are not your body, you are not your feelings, you are not the human. You're a spirit that's the soul, that's having the human experience. That helps you to detach from the thoughts and feelings and not get reactive from them. It helps you to take back your power and control your emotions and feelings, because you will feel something come up, you will interpret the message it has and is giving you, and then you will choose what you get to do with that next, instead of having it rise up, getting uncomfortable, and then acting on it, which is what a lot of people do, and I have done before as well. I think that's about really all that I wanted to talk about right now, but you can see Monty's got the picture now and he's realised that I'm not having it, and I just want him to be chill. Anytime I put my attention on him and I don't carry on talking the way I'm talking, like, my attention's sort of on him at the moment now too, so he gets it. So your attention is your money in this spiritual world and working with horses. So where your attention goes, your energy flows, which means that when you focus on the problem becomes bigger. When you focus on the solution becomes the thing that replaces the problem. And then eventually you move up a level to where you're dealing with new problems. Like, little did I know, a year ago I would be trying to get a canter pirouette on the circle at Liberty with Moni and have problems trying to get that. Problems I never had before, but I'm privileged to have now because of the journey that we're on and how far we've gone so far. And I look forward to the problems in the future of what we're going to have. Eventually I want to teach him to do flying changes at Liberty, which would be really cool, which he and I are not at that level yet, but we're on the journey to getting to that level. And I'm sure I will have more problems at that point as well. But life is problems. It's how you deal with them that is either the problem or the solution, you know? So I don't know, I just basically want to emphasize that you have choices in life, always. No matter how depressed you are, no matter what situation you're in, you have choices. Whether that's down to how you behave, how you say things, when you say things, what you say, the person that you want to be and who you choose to be. For a long time I felt powerless and I didn't have an identity because I was so fluent in my identity to be whoever anyone else wanted me to be. And of course that was a very lonely time of my life because I didn't have my own back. I wasn't the person I needed me to be. And eventually, of course, you end up a lost soul and you can't think that you'll ever get away from that. So if you're stuck in that lost feeling, then I would encourage you to just simply become aware of how you feel, when you feel it, and where you feel it. That means if I'm talking to someone and I'm becoming tense, I'm aware of that tension. I don't have to interpret that tension. I don't have to act on it. I just have to be aware of it. That's literally where it starts, when you develop your human and move up levels in yourself, which also then helps with your relationship with others and your horses and your animals. So you can definitely tell people that hate themselves, and people that have very fragile egos, and also people that have humongous egos that will never ever let them see the truth of a situation because they believe they can do no bad because it's everyone else that's doing the wrong, and it's the animal that's in the wrong, it's not you. And those are the people that I will never be around ever again. There is so many people like that. Like, how do you think apologizing for what you've done by saying it's either that or slaughter is good enough? That's disgusting. That's like saying the child was going to end up molested, I don't know how to say that without saying it, and in an orphanage if they didn't, or in an orphanage, so it was better off getting molested. how to say that without saying it. And that's terrible. I'm not smiling at that, I'm just the way that I'm saying it. And like, I don't know, I would probably think the orphanage would be better than dealing with that. Same with this situation, the horse getting whipped or going to slaughter. Maybe that horse might have ended up in slaughter and then someone else might have bought it and never treated it like that. I don't know. That's the whole, I guess, butterfly effect. And I'm not, again, it's just, it's life, it's this world. We are at a whole very dysfunctional society. Is very dysfunctional, but we're slowly seeing the changes in that. We are slowly seeing the move away from punishment and authority and power struggles, etc. And we're slowly moving into love and light and compassion, empathy and understanding. And the one big belief that I changed